I think you're live, Sally.
Okay. Yep, there I am. There we go. Okay. What's going on? Okay. All right, we did it. We're live. Let me share this out. Oh, it's there. Okay. It is in Zenlightenment. So hi everybody. Sorry, technical difficulties. Things went a little bit weird, which they've been kind of on and off all day today. We've been visited by a little girl spirit who has taken to removing things off from the shelves, taking the jewelry off from the jewelry cards that they are on, and actually grabbing a hold of a tablecloth and pulling it until things started falling off the tabletop. But with that being said, the difficulties hopefully are over and we won't have any more technical issues. But our topic for today is we're going to look at finding your peace, finding our peace. Um, when things go crazy in our lives, which as humans, we're here to live that human life first. Crazy things can often happen within our lives, forcing us to take a deeper look at things that we've thought to be long buried. Um, Recognizing the signs of a physical and emotional release. There's just so many things that we can learn, little tricks about ourselves to tell where we're at with our ascensions and that transitioning forward and releasing things and so on. We're going to continuously do this throughout our lives, whether we want to or not. We are, and that's okay. That's part of being human. That's part of why we're here. We're here. One of the reasons is to learn how to transmute negativity into positivity um, through finding better ways that make us peaceful and happy. Um, for me, it's always, oh gosh, if I'm having sleepless nights, it's a great thing for me to meditate. Through meditation, I release things and then I can kind of um, get back up on that horse the next day and feel a little better, feel a little more together. When we let daily stresses kind of get to us, in which they do, everybody goes through it. But when we let this happen, it can be quite um, traumatic on our psyches and our hearts and our souls and our health for that matter. And then it trickles out of us after so long of dealing with us. It trickles out of us and it goes into our family members and our daily living, our work, our jobs. Um, you know, so learning those little signs of telling when something is coming in is number one. It's a key thing in our toolbox. Um, and for me, when I wake up fine and totally change within a few minutes of waking up into feeling as if I just need to release something or I'm crying, I'm emotional. That always signals to me that I'm releasing an emotional issue from my past. And then I kind of go accordingly to that. Um, Gosh, what else? Um, Angry, when you start to get angry out of nowhere at all, this also shows something that's very close to us that we may have not wanted to look into or deal with. And so we kind of sweep it under the rug always. That's also going to come bubbling out, and that leaves you feeling like you really need to um, be grounded because um, a lot of this release can leave us feeling ungrounded, unsafe, unprotected, unloved. Um, and that's pretty pretty heavy stuff to carry around with us. So today we're going to look into more of the signs of how to tell when things are going with us. When you wake up, say in your relationships, you wake up feeling okay, and then all of a sudden somebody says something or somebody does something and it totally ruins your whole day. There's something there worth looking into, digging a little bit deeper. Um, Getting to know yourself is probably going to be your number one arsenal in your very own toolbox of what's good for you. Um, Another thing helps is when I speak it out loud or I write it down. This gets it out of me, so I'm not exactly trapping it in, and I can transmute that a little easier and quicker sometimes this way. Um, oh gosh, if something comes to us in our dreams that totally annihilates our feelings, like it's making us look at something a little bit deeper, that can annihilate how we truly feel about things, about ourselves, about our relationships, our families, home, work, everything. So what do we do with that kind of energy? You take a deeper look into it. You always, and I'm always going to suggest that um, you journal, you write it down, you transmute it this way first. Even if you can dull down a little bit of the ache, it can make you feel a lot better, a lot better. Um, I'm trying to see. uh, yeah. Anyway, um, when the stuff really starts to boil into us, boil up for us, bubble up for us, coming into our focus, it can be some of the most trying times of our life, some of the most exciting times of our life. I find it a little more exciting now because I like to release the stuff. I don't want to hold on to it. Don't want to carry it with me. It can be so traumatic and so hard to actually. Um, Now I'm getting my voice, and I don't want my voice in there. Okay, there we go. Um, Gosh, where was I? Um, I guess I would think that um, the number one thing for you, the number one thing for everybody to kind of work on and realize is the signs and the symbols that come to us. Um, we all transition, we all ascend, we all go up and down this roller coaster ride. We're tired, extremely tired from time to time. It goes into a very short spurt of energy. Um, and then uh, goes from energetic to maybe chaotic and crazy from time to time. When all this happens with you, um, know that things are going to be okay. You've recognized it first and foremost. And when you recognize it, that is like number one right there, recognizing it. Then what to do? Um, Analyze it, see what it is that is trying to be conveyed to you. Because trust me, when we experience things in our life, things are coming to us for us to process, for us to deal with. And it may not always be pleasant, but it's not always going to be hard either. So, really examining what it is that's coming to you. Um, is this in your relationship sector of your life? Look at it. What is it trying to tell you? Transmute this, begin to transmute this by digging deep into it. Always being able to accept your part of the issues as well is another way that kind of lets it come in a little bit easier. Whether we like it or not, we always have issues. We all, not issues. We always have something to do with the issues that we face. So getting that through to our psyches, knowing that we've, you know, kind of done something. It may be maybe we're an enabler for somebody to treat us badly. So really digging deep and seeing what is trying to be um, what's trying to transpire right in front of your face, what's coming into your focus. Hi, Rosalind. Um, we're looking at recognizing, um, recognizing the bad energy that tends to come to us from time to time and how we can transmute it, how we can kind of raise our vibrations as well, um, and really begin to release some things. Uh, it doesn't matter what time of the month it is, doesn't matter what moon phase is in, you can always release things. So, recognition is number one. Recognizing what's coming to you and how it's making you feel. So picking up on those signs. Let me see. I received this morning. I started out when I woke up, I thought I was in a good mood. Quickly went south. Um, one, who was you just talking to? Who were you associating with? Because maybe you picked up some of their energy. Look at that first. And even through being on Facebook, you can actually grab a hold of somebody's energy and bring that into yourself. And all of a sudden, there goes your day. So, kind of spiraling. I've got a spirit here that's playing. Um, kind of transpiring your day into not such a good one, but into a bad one if you don't recognize it and then kind of thwart its behavior and its attempts at trying to change your mood in your day. Recognizing it for what it is. What are you transmuting? What are you learning? This is also a big key. Um, I feel like everything got very quiet in here real quick. Um, so anyway, they turned the radio off on me. Um, yeah. Anyway, recognizing those signs, big key, big thing, big jump ahead and what goes on with you and how you can quickly grab a hold of something that may turn you south, your mood, your attitude, and so on, your vibrations. And right now, being that we are in a time of higher vibrations, we need our vibrations to raise higher. Um, and there's so many ways that we can do this. One is being true to ourselves. Three, work on those, or two, work on the chakras. Huge help there. Get those chakras working and flowing freely because that's going to help you with everything. The flow of life, the flow of bad energy and good energy and all of this. Because even that bad energy has got to be able to flow right. If it's coming up from your past, chances are it's in your root chakra, your sacral chakra, it's got to come up. It's got to get out of there. And in order to do this in the least harmful way, you have to acknowledge that and where it's coming from. And then just kind of guide that up and out through caring for your chakras. And we were talking about self love as well. It's not a crime to self love. Um, recognizing that you are worthy and you are worth the effort that you put into life. If you are, this is a good one because this is a good one for me to understand and hear this. If you are actually a healer and you're doing so much good for other people, what are you doing for yourself? You really have to take a good look at what are you doing for yourself. Self-healing is possible. Um, I'm a Reiki master and teacher, and I know this. I know that we can take care of ourselves. Um, so doing so is not a crime. It's not a sin. When you love yourself first, everything else that you desire in life is going to find its way to you in the most opportune time. Your relationships, even if it's with children, if you put yourself first, the love that you have for your children is going to complete itself. It's going to be a beautiful thing as it blossoms into something better than it is right now. And you may not think that's possible, but it's always possible for love to bloom even more, even larger than what it is. Um, so absolutely, it's a beautiful thing to actually watch this happen, to accept it for how it is and how this comes about, and watch the blooming of every part of your life when you put yourself first and foremost. But I have to say this, along with your relationship with God, that's number one. It's the only time in your life where there will be a tie in relationships is the one that you have with yourself and the one that you have with God. When we put that first and foremost, everything else in our lives that we want to keep in our lives will find its proper place, will bloom and grow beautifully from where it plants itself, and everything becomes better this way. Lots of people say, I have children, I have a spouse, they have to come first. I put myself third or second or third, and that's not always the healthiest way to do this. Um, Loving yourself, accepting yourself for being worthy and being a beautiful part of life, um, that's where you're going to gain the biggest start down this path. And I do a lot of coaching, um, getting people to kind of intertwine their human life with their spiritual life and bringing the two together in this beautiful, miraculous way. Not everybody knows how to do this. I didn't know how to do this when I first began. I had no clue. I had nobody to help me. I didn't even know this community existed. Let me see, I'm working on 8 years ago. I didn't know this community existed or any community that dealt with this stuff ever, anywhere. So my help came when Tony met somebody that could help me find my way. And she did just that. And I found my guidance, and that made the big difference in my lifetime. It changed me from who I was back then. Who I was an angry person. I had a temper. I wasn't afraid to open my mouth and lash out when I thought I was being attacked, in such negative ways as well. I had to learn this. I had to reteach myself that things can be just as effective if you do it with kindness. You can be assertive, but do it with a kindness and really get your point across, including with yourself. Um, and that was probably the biggest thing for me to deal with was that fact of, um, how do I deal with this new me? How do I transmute that negativity that my life was built on and become more positive? How do I release my um, sarcastic ways with everybody? It was a hard lessons learned, and um, a lot of stuff that I had to go through and release and transmute and just change about myself. Gosh, it was pretty crazy coming into this at first. And I think it took me probably 3 years of really getting into this to start to get it, to start to get those aha moments, and to start to realize that it's not narcissistic to love yourself first. It's not a horrible thing to take care of you. It's not a horrible thing for you to love you and come to an agreement with yourself and your soul. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. And lots of good things happen when this occurs, and then learning how to introduce my heart brain with my human brain, get them working together. And that's still a work in progress. It's probably always going to be a work in progress. There's always constant reminders there because, like I said, regardless of what, you're here to be a human first and foremost, and the spiritual side of you comes next. But that human side is always going to win out, if you don't know how to change things. So recognizing them signs, knowing you. I try to take a quick scan when I first wake up in the morning. I usually get a few minutes, about 15 minutes awake time alone. And I use that 15 minutes to kind of take a scan of me. How do I feel today? You know, is my energy where it should be? Is there something missing? And I try to kind of gain grips that way. Sometimes it's going to be a lesson that I'm going through and it's going to come out how it's going to come out. And I have to accept that. It's catching it. And, before it gets out and does any damage, I try to catch it as quick as I can and try to transmute it into a positivity. Um, and this can happen, I mean, sometimes days upon days. For some people, it can be weeks or even months that this kind of goes on until you get a grip of how this comes to you, because everybody is individual. Everybody's signs and experiences are different. They're not always going to be alike. Some of us share a lot of similarities, but usually every instance is going to be tailored to just the person that is experiencing this. And because you are on your own path, you have to figure this out. So becoming more aware of you and who you are, um, what you're capable of, and how you transmute things, this is going to be your big help right there. Um, allowing that to happen, allowing that to come in, feeling it, allowing yourself to feel it can be hard because a lot of us right away goes into the fight or flight. You know, this is bad coming in. I feel dread from this. I'm not feeling like this is going to be a good day. Let's go back to bed, bury our head in the sand. Um, that's not always a good thing. It really isn't. Um, so, becoming more aware how things come to you is going to help you greatly. Things that we can do to kind of uh, stop energy in its tracks when it's not so good. Breathing. Number one, breathing. Learning how to breathe. Um, when I was going through my deep breathing uh, training, it's kind of a training to get you to do this and to recognize it when you need to go into deep breath, when you need to breathe things in and out and release. Um, it's kind of a training session. And what's weirdly enough that I find really fascinating is that almost everybody breathes wrong. Almost everybody breathes wrong. And a lot of people ask me, how do we breathe wrong? It's in how we take the breath in, how it affects our belly, our association with our breathing. So when we pull things in, when we pull the breath in and we take it down to our diaphragm, it's supposed to push our diaphragm out, not pull it in. A lot of people make their abdomen tighter. That is not the way it was meant to be. Coffee time. So when we recognize this and we retrain our minds into our deep breathing exercise, we pull that deep breath in when we feel something is just a slight bit wrong. Excuse me. We allow ourselves to feel it. We pull that deep breath in, hold it into our abdomen for the count of 5. I think I need my inhaler, and I didn't bring it with me. Um, Tony, will you grab my inhaler on the counter, please? Um, I'm doing a lot of talking, so it's really getting my breath. And yes, I find myself being on an inhaler lately. Not good. Okay. Ah, Tony.
Just saying hi.
Okay, give me just a minute here. Ew. It tastes like, to me, it tastes like old grapes. The kind that's been there for like 10 to 15 days. This nasty smelling grapes. Oh. And there it goes. Always comes in two. And so this inhaler is actually teaching me to breathe too, as well. It really is. But when you learn to take that deep breath at the first sign of something being just a little bit awry, I was fine just 5 minutes ago. All of a sudden now I'm just fit to be tied and ready to lash out. Start taking those deep breathing. Take it right down to the abdomen. Push that tummy out and then release everything. Picture it. It's swirling in your tummy and it is grabbing everything negative and pulling it up, and you're going to breathe it out. Quickest way. You can also try the thumb and the index finger and try the Om, because when we say Om, it actually opens us up to a clearer way of thinking. And this, the thumb to the index finger, is instant calm. Gosh, what else? If you have the ability to do a quick 5-minute meditation, this can sometimes talk us off a ledge, in which sometimes I find myself out there on that ledge still, even though I know better than this and I know how to recognize it. Sometimes it's still something that I have to go through and I have to experience in order to get things out. And if you're anything like me, finding somebody that you can truly trust and talking about it, get it out, speak about it. Because when we release it this way to somebody we trust, that we know it's not going to go nowhere, this can help us feel relief so we can actually deal with things better. So it's kind of taking your stress and relieving it to somebody else who already knows how to transmute it. It's a wonderful way for you to kind of help yourself and help others at the same time who deal with you on a regular basis. It can really open us up to a better way of thinking, a clearer line of thought. Um, and if you're one that carries a lot of burdens with us, if you are an empath, which a lot of us in life are finding out that we are actually empaths in life, and so we suck up other people's energy, parts of their stories, and we kind of hold them in, not knowing what just hit us. So if you're an unrecognized empath, or you don't know what an empath is, an empath is somebody that truly can heal others through sensing and feeling what they are experiencing. And then we know how to deal with that person and help that person. We just connect with our emotions more. Um, find yourself crying a lot when you go around people? Do you find yourself feeling heavy when you go around certain people? These are all signs of an empath. Do you find yourself being bad, in a bad mood 1 minute, and then you go around somebody new and they're laughing and cheerful and happy, and all of a sudden, so are you? You are picking up others' energies. So um, you're actually feeling this with your emotional side rather than your physical side. But don't get me wrong, if you're doing this and it's unrecognized and you don't see what you are doing, sometimes you could pick up things from them that they have not released. You carry it around and it affects your body. Therefore, you have these mysterious new body aches, pains, and kind of distresses within your system. Um, not always yours to carry around. So when you recognize that you are just fine until you walk through that door at work and all of a sudden you talk to somebody who was in a bad mood this morning and now you are too. You've picked up their energy and now what are you going to do about it? Find one of the ways that I just described, or find your own way to actually get those energies back out of you. The deep breathing, you can instantly do this anywhere. Takes 3 deep breaths, pull it in, envision it going down and swirling around like it's a bunch of fog in there, and picture it gathering up all that new energy and pushing it out of you. This is going to relieve you the quickest. Um, if you have that opportunity to say, go to an office and you have that chance to meditate for 5 minutes, do so. Do a quick meditation to release 5 minutes. and it's going to help tremendously. Um, and once again, if you have that opportunity to bend somebody's ear, maybe you have a cubicle buddy, um, bend their ear. Say, hey, I just was around this person, and all of a sudden now I'm feeling kind of bad. Um, you know, help to relieve this. Um, Sometimes talking to the person, feeling what they're going through, and then coming back later and saying, hey, I recognize this morning that you may be going through something. And if you ever want to talk, here I am. But absolutely allowing yourself to connect with others is going to be such a beneficial way for you to help release things that may be trying to attach to you. The worst thing you want to do is, excuse me, um, pick up something in the morning from somebody else, carry it with you all day long, and then take it home and have the unleashing come when you get home. So, not always a good way to end the day. So, absolutely, the quicker you recognize what's going on, the easier it's going to be to release things. Um, Let me see what else. Um, Trying to keep track of the time too. Um, and we didn't get on till a little late. So, but let me see. Other things you can do. You can ground yourself. Um, Not a lot of people recognize, or the newbies, new people who are coming into their gifts, don't really recognize what grounding yourself means. It simply means that you are reattaching yourself with Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. You're connecting with her in a way that you can release some of the stresses from you down directly into the earth, having it transmute as it's coming out of you and into the earth into something beautiful. Maybe you can envision doing this, and upon the release into the earth, you see green grass growing or flowers sprouting and blooming. This is a way that you're transmuting negativity into positivity. And ultimately, that's your goal, is to transmute this stuff, not carry it with you. Um, Gosh, let me see. Um, what other things can you do? Listening to music and singing really picks me up. It really does. And if you are lucky enough to be all by yourself in an office, turn on that radio and dance and allow that happiness to return to you that you came into work with, um, or walked into your home with. Also, um, let me see, for you parents, for um, people that have others living with them, absolutely allow yourself when you walk in the door 15 minutes, 20 minutes to actually kind of reconnect yourself to home and switch gears, kind of take off the work hat and put on the home hat, and allow this to change to your new role. Allow time for that switch over to happen. And sometimes just being by yourself for 15 minutes is a huge benefit to you. Just allowing yourself to take them 3 deep breaths, sit down, ground yourself. And it usually, for me, it always worked. It worked. My kids always knew, give me 15 minutes. Let me go in my room, take my shoes off, change my clothes maybe, and just kind of breathe for 15 minutes. And I'll be out. And then you can spill whatever you have for me. Just let me know everything. But for the first 15 minutes, I'm home. Give me that time to be me, to kind of reconnect with home and change my hat, change my role. It works wonders. But there's so many ways that um, you can better deal with things that are coming to you, the energies that are sticking on you. Um, Not everybody that you come across every day is going to be in this beautiful mood, full of energy and love and life and happiness and so on. It's just not always going to be like that. Um, but like I said, knowing who's in certain moods, if you can at all avoid those that are in certain moods, try to do so if that helps you. Um, if it's you that are in the mood, then absolutely kind of Go off grid. Don't be afraid to go off grid. Facebook will live without you. Your phone will live without you. The TV will live without you, and so on and so on. Sometimes it's turning off everything electric and just being present in the moment, being with your thoughts and yourself and maybe your loved ones and so on. Um, it absolutely is so beneficial to yourself to allow yourself the time to wind down and shift gears and change your roles. Um, Not a whole lot of people have one role and that's what they do. Life is different than it used to be. We're not Betty Crockers and homemakers. We're actually out there working in the workforce and um, out there just like everybody else is. And sometimes we, experience things and we learn things and we change our moods so many times during the day um, that it itself feels like a roller coaster ride. So, it can be very draining and daunting when you don't know where to go, what to do, who to talk to. Um, there's plenty of life coaches out there, spiritual coaches. I am both, a life and a spiritual. Um, and, I see just about everybody I see is somebody that's been where I've been. I can associate, I can understand 100%. And it can be um, very hard sometimes to see others going through where you've been. And you just want to reach out and help them, but you have to realize that not everybody wants helping. You're not going to always know how to help everybody, but as long as I can help and get through to a few people, I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, and then a lot of us are in those times right now where we are releasing some pretty heavy things and knowing that everything is going to be okay. Once you start doing this, everything's going to be okay. But you have to get through it. And knowing some of these little tricks for the trade is a good way to actually get yourself out there. Allow yourself that time to heal and expand and explore and release and kind of pull back into some better energy and vibrations. And right now, we're all about the vibrations within the world that we live in, the universe, and vibrating at higher vibrations is what it's all about right now. Uh, you know, that can be hard and that can be daunting, always vibrating at a higher vibration, but you know, we do what we can, we talk, we help, um, we push forward the best that we can, we get creative. Um, there's just so much that we can do. We meditate, uh, we associate with others that are high vibrational people. This is a huge bonus on our part when we learn to do this. And gosh, I bet you I have lost. I'm a transplant to where I live. And when I left my hometown, I walked away from every single friend that I ever had. And one person found me, two, three, three people found me. And those three people I recognize in my life as being, they were a very good part of my life. Um, the others, well, it was what it was, and the vibrations weren't the same, and I had to go and change my life completely. And so when I transplanted out here, everything started um, to look up, to become brighter, to become different than what I was used to. But having to walk away from everybody was a little hard at first, but not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Um, and reassociating with myself with others that vibrated higher was a huge benefit to me as well. Um, because when I did, they were also there for me when I lost my sister in 2014. And it's almost the anniversary. I've got a few weeks to the anniversary of her death, her dying. And when she passed, I wished I would have come through this awakening prior to, so I could have shared this life with her. She was very accepting, and I was not. She accepted her gifts, and I did not. I ran from it because I started my gifts out with dreams that happened, that came true, and they were always my family passing away. So I ran from it. But when my sister passed, I kind of stepped into this to pay homage to her life, and I wanted to see what she was all about. And so, I stepped into this life and I learned, man, I rolled through punches and fires and everything. I was just, yeah, crazy. Um, Crazy it was. It's been almost 8 years now. I started this just after I turned 50, and I'm 58 now. So it's almost that anniversary of accepting who I was sent here to be. Um, and even then, while accepting all of that, I did not know life was going to turn so drastically, that things were going to change. And so many times my eyes were going to be opened to things that weren't exactly how I thought they were to be. Um, it's just a crazy time. That awakening, that coming through everything, that recognizing, um, say fairies, recognizing that fairies are real and they're really amongst us. Um, Real crazy. Lots of things that I did not know were true. I thought they were just real and fairy tales, and that was it. And hi, Gwen. It's not. Things are different than what we first thought they were. Um, and I don't think it's in such a well. There's some things I wished I hadn't woken up to, but for the most part, everything about this lifestyle, this spiritual lifestyle, has been a bonus, a benefit, in my life, a huger, yeah, a huger platform. Just a lot of differences that I did not expect, I guess, in the beginning. I don't know what I really came into this expecting. I expected to come into this and give readings. I did not expect to have everything else fall into our laps like it did. But we had to learn. I had to learn how to turn my life over to God and know that He's got my back. The dude has got my back. Um, Absolutely love that term for God, dude. Um, and asking dude for a sign that He is present in your life is okay. Um, and then giving Him a time limit to show you. Give him 48 hours and ask him to show you that he is present in your life with a sign, and then open yourself up to however the sign is to come to you, and be accepting of it. Um, that was yeah. I've done this before, and we had a light turn off, and then a light turned back on when I asked them to turn it back on if it was truly them, and they turned it back on. So um, we've had that experience with that experiment. It was an amazing one because from that moment on, I realized he's got our back. So anything that we need in life, He's got us. All we got to do is put it out there to the universe, and it happens. Um, oh gosh, trying to be aware of the time. Um, so yeah, guys. Uh, Ways of handling yourself, ways of being kinder to yourself. Loving yourself is just such a I can't get over it. It's such a huge part of it, a huge part of it. Accepting who you are, your limitations, as well as um, your talents and your gifts. Recognizing all of this, really truly will benefit you, because then you're going to know how to gear your your awakening, your training, and so on. Yes, there's a certain part of this that you get to say, okay, I recognize this is happening. I'm going to let go of the details. You do it however you see fit. But there's other parts of this where you have to kind of gear yourself. Like, um, if you see people and can read their stories, you might want to gear your training towards this. Um, if you hear messages, it's another one. If you are seeing the messages like a little movie strips, little flits, there's another one. So there's many ways that you can start to engineer how you're going to use your gifts. Ultimately, things are going to happen how they're going to happen, but you can help them along. And the more that you're pushing towards this, the better things come in for you and assist you with your spiritual growth and your knowledge and your wisdom as it all comes in to make sense. And for a lot of us, we're going to go through a period in our lives. And I think it's usually not one of the last big awakenings, but it was my last one because it was a 2 year long one. And when that happened, it was a lot of chaos, a lot of energy just out there. And I didn't know how to transmute it. It was coming too fast. And I was not good at that. So things kind of went crazy and awry. And thank goodness they got straightened out in the end and things were okay. Um, I spiraled out of control for a while there. Of course, a lot of it was due to the negative entity attached to me. I have a tablecloth that's driving me crazy right now, and it is all over my legs. So I'm going to move it up here. Sorry. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's Sunday. Uh, it for us, it's our Friday. We have the next 2 days off, and I'm hoping to take those 2 days off. Um, let me see. Oh, I have a class to teach tomorrow, so I can't really take those 2 days off. And I'm actually teaching this. I'm teaching how to integrate your spiritual life with your human life, teaching people how to do certain things with their gifts and expand their minds. Um, healing each other, learning how to read tarot, learning how to do channeled messages, and so on. Um, and even at points investigating whether each person is going to become a trance medium. We're just really testing each other's gifts and seeing how this all plays in. We're learning to read auras, do multiple healing modalities. You know, it's it's helping those make sense of their life and integrate the two sides together, human and spiritual. Not always an easy task to do. Not always. It can be pretty rough. Um, I don't think I had a clue, and I don't think I ever really had anybody to show me how to do this. I had to figure it out on my own. Yes, I got training for parts of my gifts. You know, um, I had to learn how to use the on-off button for spirit, and everybody has one. You can turn that button off when you don't want to work no more that day. Um, Setting boundaries for spirits as well, letting them know what you will and you will not accept. These are all huge parts for you as well. Um, but like I said, taking care of yourself is going to be number one. Number one, putting yourself with your relationship with God as number one, loving yourself in order to move forward is going to be the most positive thing you can do for yourself. So if you haven't started that already, step into that this afternoon. Um, go into it and do a meditation for self love. Absolutely. Just get yourself out there. Go outside and ground yourself. For those of you that don't understand how somebody can tell if you're not grounded, um, look at yourself. Have you been absent minded, forgetful, lost, or disconnected? These are a few of the signs that um, uh, absolutely say there's an ungrounding here. Maybe you've been staying indoors so much, which many of us have. Don't be afraid to get outside and breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. It's going to benefit you tremendously. Um, go outside and hug a tree. Go throw some snowballs. Go build a snowman. Go for a hike. Go for a walk. If you are a runner and you can do that, go for a jog. Otherwise, just get yourself outside. And if you live in an area like I do, where outside isn't always such a good thing, or Gwen does, Gwen lives in that same area I do. Um, Outdoors isn't such a good thing. I don't want to go outside in the wet, cold snow. I don't like it. I don't care how much I bundle up. Um, but get a plant. Keep a plant indoors so you can touch the soil. You can touch the leaves. You can work with the plant and talk to it. Um, Either way, it's going to help you ground a lot better. Excuse me. Um, oh gosh, what else? Playing with crystals, playing with stones. If you live near the ocean, go sit by the ocean. Take a chair and a good book. Take your headphones in your phone and just kind of plug into a meditation and sit by the ocean. If the water's not too cold and you can put your toes in the water or in the sand, it's going to benefit you even more. It's going to ground you even more. Plus, the healing salt air really does a wonders on your senses and your psyche. Um, Even lakes help a lot. They help a lot. They really do heal. I like to go to Lake Michigan and go rock hunting. Of course, you can't rock hunt right now, but too much snow. Um, yes, grounding does help with anxiety. It really does, Gwen. Good point. Um, Grounding really is beneficial in so many ways of kind of talking ourselves back down off that ledge, getting back onto solid ground and feeling that ground underneath our feet is going to be so beneficial. Um, for me, kicking my shoes off really quick and being barefoot for just a minute, even if it's on carpet or wood floors or tile, whatever, feeling that ground touch my skin pulls me out of a bad mood usually really quickly. Um, excuse me. Um, in the summertime, I garden. I love to garden. Can't exactly do that when you're like buried under 10 inches of snow. I don't know how much we got last night, but it was a lot. I got out there first thing this morning to start the car thinking, oh my gosh, I can go do the car. I can get some grounding in. I can shovel the drive around the car and everything's going to be okay. By the time Tony comes out, the car will be nice and warm. Didn't work like that. I got out there and seen how much snow we got. And after the first pass with the shovel through, I was like, I'm going to be here all day long. And we are not going to get to the center in time to open on time. But I did get some grounding in. I did get to do the car, and I did get to do a few swipes with the shovel through the driveway. But then Tony come out and I said, "You got to get the snow blower because this is more than what I thought we were going to have last night." I heard there was a snowstorm as we left the center yesterday, um, but I didn't know. They've said snowstorms before too, and we got like 2 inches or a half an inch, and not this time. We were ducked on. But yes, that doesn't leave for a good time of getting outside and do some gardening then. I can't wait for spring. I'm already looking forward to it. Just what? Tomorrow is the first. So Tuesday is Groundhog's Day already. Ground, Groundhog's Day. Yes, Groundhog's Day. It didn't sound right. Um, but yeah, Groundhog's Day is coming on Tuesday. And I can't wait to see what it says. I know either way it goes, we're going to have 6 weeks left. Calendar wise, we have 6 weeks from Tuesday till spring. Ooh, that's a scary thought. I've got some of that pandemic winter weight that I have got to get off quick. Um, but yeah, now talk about anxiety and panic. You're going to see me instant calm. Um, Yeah, you know, gosh, I don't know other ways. Incense. I do incense and sage to help calm me down as well. Um, I ask the angels to step in and kind of relieve things for, oh, I know, kind of take things from me. There's one thing I have gotten very good at telling when there's negative emotions trying to bubble up in me from somebody, something, or someplace. I feel it coming like a darkness. It comes from the feet up, and that's when I just simply stop in my tracks and say, oh no, not today, darkness. It is not going to happen. I'm not in the mood. And it doesn't happen. I can feel it subside and it goes away. Let me see. Hi, Lynette. Lynette, how is the family doing? I've been worried about you guys still, and I know you guys are coming out of it, but how is everybody doing? I'm hoping that everybody is good. Um, Absolutely been trying to follow you guys as much as I can. Things are a little bit chaotic sometimes, and I can't always as good as I would like to, but I try to follow you. Um, Lynette is like my little sister. She is my baby sisters, Lynette and Santina. And now Charity. I like Charity too. But I really want to get to talk to her face to face on the videos, you know. Um, Somehow I would like to do uh, this private room coffee conversation with Lynette and Santina and Charity and Tony and I, and catch up with everybody and see what's going on. Lynette and Santina were actually students of mine. Okay, Lyndon was the worst. Oh, thank goodness, Lynette. Absolutely. Um, Still try to get that rose oil if you can. It's going to still help you tremendously. And like I was saying, that the world right now is all about the high vibrations, and we need to vibrate higher. One quick way to do that is with essential oils. I know that rose oil from Essential Living or Young Living actually vibrates higher than the COVID vibrates. And COVID is a vibrational illness. It's not a flu or a um, thing like that. It's not a virus. This is an electrical current that is traveling through your body and a disturbance to your own personal electrical current. So that clash together, it's like seeing two different wires come together or putting the positive and the negative battery cables together and watch the sparks. That's what happens. And then your body is all chaotic. Um, Yes, Lynette, there is because I am technically challenged in this. And so Ruth has offered me her room, which is a beautiful thing. So that is why. But it is with me, and I am here, and we have been talking about, oh gosh, relieving stress and anxiety and ways of telling when things are coming into you and when you've picked up other people's energies. And we have talked about the whole self love and taking care of yourself first. How important this is for you, for everybody, to love themselves enough to take care of themselves first. And having faith and trust in the universe that everything else, if you look at our life like a menu or um, like a planner, okay? Um, we have our self love, our family love, our work love, and we have all this stuff going on in our life every single day. Um, how do we keep the energy all kind of working well together? By being aware of how the energies are when they come into you. So, not being afraid to stop in your tracks. Okay, Of course, if you're driving, please don't stop anywhere you want to. Make sure you're safe. But stopping in your tracks and allowing the feeling to come to you and transmuting it. Is this energy mine? Do I own this? If I don't own it, no, go away. If I own this, then what can I do to change it? So being more aware of how you are feeling and what is coming into you, if it's even yours or not, is going to help you tremendously. Um, and things that you can do: meditation, grounding, get outside and do some heavy, deep breathing. Um, it's a great way to start your day and to end your day when you are more aware of what's coming to you and when it is coming to you, how it's coming to you, from where or whom it's coming to you from. But becoming more self-aware is the key to you having the life that you desire, that you truly desire. Um, and if you haven't had that chance to sit down, do so before the new moon comes up. And I'm not sure when the new moon comes in this month. In February, I believe, is the new moon. I'm not sure when the new moon comes to you, but being aware of when it comes to you and being ready to release your letter of manifestation is going to be a huge benefit to you as well. What is it that you would like to manifest into your life? Uh, would you like to learn how to manage stress levels more, manage energy levels more, manage your empathic gifts? There's so many of us that are opening up to our gifts of one way, one sort or another. Not everybody's going to be a psychic medium. Not everybody's going to be a medium. You may be a psychic, but maybe not a medium. You may have hearing gifts, but maybe not sight. So everybody is different. Your gifts are going to be tailored to you. Becoming more self-aware is going to help these gifts come in and help you transcend them into what they will be. Help you begin to use them and learn about them and figure out how they work. But once again, like I said, everything comes right back to you being more self-aware. What things are normally for you and what things are new? What is coming in? How is it coming in? So many things to journal about. So if you're not journaling, please, please, please journal. And I am this avid fan of journaling. I know I probably have about 30 or 40 journals myself. Um, but absolutely, absolutely learning more about you. Awesome, Lynette. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am happy to hear that you ordered that. I know it's a little bit costly, but it's an absolute wonderful thing, and it's going to help you vibrate higher. And they do have, you could order on Amazon the little mini bottles, and you can actually create a bottle for each one in your family. And those that carry, won't lose them. Those that will carry them in their pocket, absolutely a wonderful thing, but don't let them carry it to school because I think that's against the law. At least it is here in the States. Um, I would absolutely, probably the kids that they have to go to school and can't carry them with them, dab some on their wrists. Uh, Invest in some beads and create yourself an aromatherapy bracelet and put it on the lava beads. Put it on the lava beads, and they can smell it constantly, and it's like a piece of jewelry. Um, so there's many ways that you can get around this, um, but that oil is what is going to help you so much, so much. I would probably put it like right here in the pulse point, because if you put it on the wrist, chances are they're going to wash their hands a lot during the day and rinse it off. So put it on the pulse point and let them breathe that in. Let them breathe that in. It will help them throughout the day. But it's going to be very important, especially for you guys, Lynette, so you don't go back through this, to raise that vibration, raise it as high as you can. Um, Another thing that happens when you raise your vibration is if you raise it high enough, spirit comes in. So just different things will come to you this way at higher vibrations. I shared a paper with my class. It was either last week or the week after. I think it was the week before that. That talked about the hurts that what
things happen within our life at a certain hertz level, and this tells you what happens within your life at each level. So I'll try to post that in the group tonight. Um, and you can go on there and print it out if you'd like to take it. Oh, I think you can. I'm not sure if you can save it to your phone or not and print it out because, or I can send it to anybody that's interested. And then you can go accordingly and start to maneuver your life according to the hertz. Even binaural beats meditations is a great way to raise your vibrations, but go about those ones with a little bit of kid's glove, a little bit of caution, because um, you can actually astral plane through binaural beats meditations, and I know because I've done it. But luckily, I was okay, and I didn't bring anything back with me. But things can attach to you while you're out there astral planing, so just be a little bit careful with that. But we've got about 11 minutes left. Um, Gosh, let me see. Chanting. Chanting is another beautiful way to kind of transmute negativity into a positive feeling. Um, we like to do it for 2 hours in the morning. Um, it's been a little while. We were doing it every morning, so I think I need to get back to that. Start doing some more chanting and start opening that back up again. Wonderful way to do that is through Tina Turner. If you don't necessarily like the proverbial chanting, um, go to YouTube and check out Tina Turner chants. She has two that I really like. I'm not sure if I'm going to say this one right. Svahastar, and I can't remember the rest. It's a short one. You can find it for like 4 minutes. I think is like one of the longest. Um, and I started out with that, and then I go to Tina Turner's Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And we listened to that for 2 hours. And that begins to change our lives. So it does every time we do this, and it's we just put it on and we go about cleaning and doing what we have to do in the center, creating whatever. But we find ourselves chanting along with us quite often. So um, it's just a good way. It's a very good way to kind of connect with your spiritual side, with your inner peace. Not a lot of us allow our own personal selves to connect with our own inner peace, and that's a very major part of our lives as well. When you can do this, you can often find the peace within your days and your lives very easily, very quickly, um, and it's a good way. It's a good way to be. Um, so yeah, guys, I am gonna get ready to get off here. Um, I am hoping next week to um, have a special guest star. I'm trying to, a guest speaker. I'm trying to plan on it with somebody, and I'm hoping that this comes through for next week. Um, but there is going to be an upcoming show where we are going to talk more about essential oils and their vibrations and how they help us heal. Um, how the whole oil can actually hold a vibration, which everything can. That's one thing we know, but how does this happen? And how does this help us to heal ourselves and to make our lives better? So we are trying to um, schedule Kim Unger Keynes to come on and talk with us about um, essential oils and so on and their healing properties. Um, who else? I can't remember who else. Um, so yes, I'll be putting together a list and get them out there for you guys to read and decide who you want to come in on for and listen to and so on. Um, and yeah, so we've got about 8 minutes more to go. So I think I'm going to wind this down now. Uh, got a little bit of a tummy ache coming in today, and I don't know why. So I must be releasing something. Uh, we'll see. Um, but yeah, so um, I'm sorry, I was just reading some more posts from Lynette. Uh, yeah, so um, next Sunday, join me here. Um, I will put out on probably Friday, maybe even tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. I'll put out what the next conversation is going to be about, and would love for you guys to join us. I would absolutely love to. I'm looking for somebody who is really just starting to come into their gifts. Somebody that's been, I keep seeing a crazy energy over here. Um, Somebody that's kind of been coming into them for 6 months to a year, and would love to talk to them and see how they're doing and how we can help them. Um, it would be a good thing, I think, and maybe get them in touch with some really good people who can really connect with them and help them to feel like they are okay and they're going to be okay. So, absolutely, I would love to. And I think I have somebody so perfect in mind for this. Um, but yeah, yes, I would love to try to get Lynette to come live with me, but I know she's going to run from that one, that idea. So, anyway, guys, we've only got about 6 minutes left. So, oh, I know what I was going to do. Hold on. We're going to do this. In case you don't notice what is behind me, I have my singing bowls. And what a great way for them to bring in some peace and end this show with the next 5 minutes. Okay, we'll just give 3 of them a play.
hope that helped you find some inner peace. It always does me. Um, I will see you guys later. You guys have a great week. Shine brightly, raise your vibrations, and do whatever it takes to keep your emotions up there in the positive. With that being said, everybody, I will see you all later. Peace, love, and Cocoa Puffs, and have a great week.